Virginia, a state steeped in history with vast expanses of natural beauty. But with over 3.7 million acres of public land and more than 15,000 miles of unimproved road, where do you even begin to explore Virginia's scenic mountain wilderness? Wouldn't it be great if someone created one epic route that showcases the best mountain wilderness that Virginia has to offer? Well, the good news is, now someone has. Growing up east of the Mississippi, you take some things for granted. Things like bright reds, fiery oranges, and warm yellows that festoon all of the trees in the fall. When I headed out west for a couple years just to see what it was like, suddenly I seriously missed all those vibrant colors. Which means exploring this beautiful landscape in the fall is still one of my favorite things to do. Are you having to settle for dog food this morning? You know that you can smell the bacon. Are you holding out for bacon? Oh, I bet you are. So, Bill, did we forget something?
Our table.
Yep, here's our table for today. I'm going to see if we can find something maybe this morning if there's a decent store somewhere near, but we're in the middle of nowhere, so baby dog doesn't care. He just knows there's food, and he hasn't been given any yet. This damp November morning found us on a road near the Tennessee and Virginia border, right near the start of the Virginia Adventure Trail. Good morning, my name is Chris with Journey Beyond Overland, and we are here this morning in Virginia, excited to get ready to try out the Virginia Adventure Trail. And we're hoping we're going to run into somebody today who might know even more about this trail, well, a lot more about this trail than we do. So I hope you'll come along and join us. Bill and I have a habit of getting on trail pretty early, but today, since we were meeting somebody along that trail, we had just a little extra time to kill. And that's why we took this detour, just a few miles out of the way, down to a place in Tennessee called Backbone Rock. There's a small campground near here that we planned to stay in the night before, but with the federal government shutdown, it was closed. But coming back a few miles to this area to enjoy the quarter-mile trail that goes straight up one side and down the other of Backbone Rock definitely made this a worthwhile detour. And before you knew it, we were back on the Virginia Adventure Trail. The VAT is a 650-mile overland route that weaves its way through the diverse landscapes and vast mountain wilderness of Virginia. This morning, vast stands of downed trees lined the route, a remnant from the destruction of 2024's Hurricane Helene. We're here going up the road to White Top Mountain. There's a sign out front that basically says it's closed. Tried to call the number, not much signal, couldn't get through, walked up, saw that the gate's open. We literally were about to come back and turn around, and lo and behold, down comes the sheriff off the top. Stopped and talked to him, and he said, nope, it's open. So we are really excited to hear it's open. We're headed onward. The spur trail up to the top of White Top Mountain is a 3-mile, one-way, easy gravel road. The storm damage littering the side of this road made clear why this road had been closed for quite a while to correct damage. And with that federal government shutdown, there simply wasn't anybody around yet to remove the closed signs. Now, Bill and I can be as lazy as the next person, and if you're wondering if those 6 miles are worth the extra drive, I would say the views speak for themselves. We are here on White Top Mountain. This is one of the first big stops on the Virginia Adventure Trail, so this is exactly why this route came through here. Bill had just mentioned that. We weren't sure it was going to be open. There was a sign down at the bottom that said it was closed. Luckily, there just happened to be law enforcement coming down the mountain at that time, and we double-checked, and he said, yes, it's open. So here we are on this beautiful spot. Bill, should I bring you into the picture over here?
Sure.
What
Now
do you
you're
think?
going to have to tell them who Will is that just mentioned that.
Oh, I'm going to have to turn around here in a second, and we can do that. But yes, what do you think?
I think this is pretty awesome.
I think this is very awesome.
Yeah, the sun just came out and lit everything up for us. It's
Yes,
perfect.
it did. And I had mentioned earlier today when we were supposed to meet somebody along the trail today who knows a lot more about this route than we do. Will, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Will. I run Defiant Off-Road and I'm the creator of the Virginia Adventure Trail. And I'm super excited to have Bill and Chris along. It's like showing somebody a new toy that you got, taking someone out and showing them Virginia, this part of Virginia that they've never been to before. So I'm having a great time showing them around.
The only roads leaving White Top Mountain behind are paved ones, and for a brief couple of miles, the Virginia Adventure Trail joins up with both the Trans-America Trail and the Mid-Atlantic BDR, which got us talking about that Trans-America Trail.
It's like the granddaddy of all the grand routes. This guy named Sam, who was a big adventure bike guy, mapped it out, and it originally ran from, I believe, the North Carolina-Tennessee line to Oregon. It's since been extended east all the way out to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and then there's a spur that goes into Virginia and West Virginia. But it's basically like any other route, like the VAT or the Florida Adventure Trail or any of the BDRs, except it actually goes coast to coast. It was pretty much the first one. I think Sam was the first one to map something like that out.
At this point along the VAT, typically you would now drive into the hurricane area. But ironically, the hurricane area was still closed due to some cleanup from the hurricane damage. And so we jumped over to the Iron Mountain section, where we found camping for the night. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning here in Virginia. We're about 70 miles into the VAT at this point, ready to start off on a second day of adventure. There's a small National Forest campground just up the road from here, but we decided to opt for the local dispersed camping. There was definitely a bit of a chill in the air last night, which I thought made sleeping comfortable, but I think Bill was wishing he'd turned on the diesel heater. We're just up enjoying a quick breakfast and packing everything up so we can get back on the trail. Our second day on the VAT found us driving a track past Comer's Rock and Hale Lake. When Will originally suggested that we join him on the VAT for a couple of days, we had no idea what the weather was going to look like. About a week before we left, we were all worried that it was going to rain non-stop, and thankfully it wasn't doing that. But the temperatures, those were the concerning things. And although last night wasn't too bad, this morning we got a reminder from our Gladiator that worse was coming. But that little blip on the map certainly wasn't going to stop us from enjoying our day. Not when the weather right now was so pleasant and the trail ahead, it boasted a whole bunch of fun water crossings. This section of trail is Broad Run. It's almost 10 miles long and rated at a level 4. It's an easy gravel road, but there are lots of water crossings that can get up to 3 feet or more deep. The last time Bill and I had driven Broad Run, we saw a handful of owls on the trail, and the water crossings were deep and swift. But today was just a little bit different of an experience.
That's the water crossing.
Yeah, it's great. We are now driving a section of the Virginia Adventure Trail called Broad Run. It's got a lot of nice little water crossings, beautiful area. A little bit dry today, but I'm trying to figure out what's likely to happen from here because the air is getting colder and colder, chillier and chillier, and it may snow tonight. So let's see how far we get from here. After leaving the many water crossings of Broad Run behind, we knew we had to hit the road and make up as many miles as we could, because Will had his heart set on camping in the Big Piney tonight. And Bill and I are always up for camping in a beautiful spot, even if the weather did call for snow overnight. The Big Piney area is an easy gravel road that's known for the beautiful whitewater stream that tumbles down the narrow, steep forested valley along the road. The area is also known for its variety of beautiful dispersed camping options. After pulling into one of Will's favorite creekside camp spots, we briefly debated whether we were going to camp tonight, especially with the prediction of snow. But we decided to settle in for the night because the weather right now wasn't really that bad. And besides, Bill and I had a diesel heater. So we set up camp, enjoyed a quick dinner, and found enough flotsam lying around to enjoy an evening fire. The camp spot that Will had chosen lies just above the confluence of two small creeks, so in the morning I got up early and went to explore them. Good morning, it's day 3 on the Virginia Adventure Trail this morning. We camped out last night in the Big Piney. Weren't quite sure if that's what we were going to do because it did get down pretty much close to freezing, but no snow. So it was a comfortable night with the diesel heater. But I have no idea how well Will might have weathered that cold weather without one. Today we're planning to head on further down the VAT. We'll just have to wait and see what he's got in mind to show us today. But for the moment, I'm just having fun walking around and checking out all these little waterfalls, because there's so many here, I can't even count them.
No, I don't need a mansion in Montana. Don't want a penthouse in Perry. No gables and eaves in 4,000 square feet just to fill up things I don't need. I know to some it makes no sense, but I'm not living just to pay my debts. I've got nothing against that white picket fence or those big American trees. On we go down the endless road. How can we know what tomorrow holds? I know this life gets so heavy, so I'll carry it with you. And I know you'll carry me too. And we'll be home. Sunrise view will always be new. Each morning when I wake up with you. Someday we'll have our own acre or two. We'll have a garden and a shed for your tools. But for now there's no rush, 'cause we still got so much left to see. On we go.
We just finished up with Archer Run, and now we're starting Kite Hollow. It's an easy road. The majority of the VAT that we have seen, other than there are a couple of hard sections that were included because they were harder sections, so you don't have to do flakes to get on film. Now, Bill and I had never heard of Height Hollow before today, but after today's trip, I'm pretty sure this is a name we're not going to forget. Height Hollow is about a 10-mile stretch of dirt and gravel. It's an easy level 2 road, but the payoff on driving up these switchbacks is phenomenal. In this road, it's about as close as you're going to get east of the Mississippi to those western shelf roads.
That is pretty. It does look sizable when you look out there.
Yes, they do. By the time we started driving down the far side of Height Hollow, the sun was already starting to sink into the west. And as predicted, that cold, crisp air started to settle down around us. And it was also right about now that all three of us decided that with temperatures dipping down in the teens overnight, the last thing we really wanted to do was camp out. But that opened up another glorious opportunity, because since we didn't need to set up camp or worry about dinner, we could fit in one more trail for the evening. And so Will led us onward to our last trail for this trip on the VAT, a road known as Forest Service Road 394, also called Sugar Tree. And just like that, 3 days on the Virginia Adventure Trail were gone. Bill and I spent 3 days on the Virginia Adventure Trail with its creator, Will, from Defiant Off-Road. But I'll tell you this, 3 days is barely enough to scratch the surface. There are so many other beautiful spots along this trail, including places like Butte Mountain, Fenwick Mines, Lignite, which unfortunately had a forest fire when we were there and we could not explore that area, Reddish Knob, Flagpole Knob, Schweitzer Lake. And if you're into some more challenging roads, make sure to check out places like Union Springs, Big Levels, otherwise known as Bald Mountain, and the Potts Mountain Jeep Trail. Most overlanders don't bother to stop and do any of the local hikes, but I'll also tell you that both on this trail and very nearby this trail, there are plenty of short hikes that are worth the while. Places like the Warspur Trail, the Hanging Rock Raptor Observatory, High Knob, the Hoop Hole at Roaring Run, and the Cascades. With 650 miles of road to explore along the VAT, as well as other opportunities for adventure like those hikes I was talking about, this could easily take up a week or more of your time to explore thoroughly. At some point, everybody runs out of time on the trail and has to turn around and head home. And in our case, those 6 hours on the way home, with that cold front coming in and the winter weather impending, that was the rest of the adventure. So Bill, what do you think?
It's winter time, I believe.
It's freezing out here. It may be 20 degrees. It feels like it's about 10 degrees. With
The wind chill might be.
Brr, it's cold out here.
Yep.
So how was the trip for you?
Good. Lots of scenery.
Lots of good scenery. We did have a couple of hiccups along the way. We had a road closure that we had to detour around, and then there was a section that we were really excited about going to see that Will wanted to show us that had a wildfire in the area that was shut down, so we had to skip that section. But we had a couple of highlights, and we're really excited to share them all with you.
How can it be a bad trip when you get to hang out with Will with Defiant Off-Road?
I agree. It was a very good trip. Thank you, Will, for inviting us to tag along. We had a great time. Well, I don't think we were really expecting this on the way home. We just crossed over the Virginia line into West Virginia, Pocahontas County, into the Monongahela. It's winter here. We knew it was going to be cold today. We figured we were going to be in the Jeep all day, so it didn't really matter. But of course, we run into this, and Bill says, "You've got to get a shot of me coming through this." Why can't he get out and get the shot, darn it? So here I am, walking down. I think it's Highway 250. We're the only people out here, so hopefully this is not going to be a disaster. Thanks for joining us. And if you're still watching, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, why not? We want to make sure you don't miss out on any of our future adventures. But until we see you again, make sure to go out and find your own adventure.